Stop, just for a moment. Forget where you are. Forget what you think is possible. Now imagine this. The life you've always dreamed of is just one decision away. It's not a fantasy. It's not luck. It's the horizon inside you waiting to be unlocked. And in the next few minutes, I am going to show you how to break through the limits you didn't even know you had. Don't click away. This could be the turning point you've been waiting for. Stay until the end, because by the time we finish, you won't see your life the same way again. And if this message adds even a spark of value to your day, please give me a like and hit that subscribe button. It is what keeps me creating and sharing with you every single day. Your support isn't just numbers. It's my greatest motivation. What if the life you've been dreaming about, the one you've been quietly wishing for every night before you fall asleep, isn't as far away as you think? What if the only thing standing between you and that life is the way you've been looking at your horizon? Today, I'm going to take you on a journey, not across continents, not into outer space, but deep into the unexplored territory of your own mind and heart. Because the greatest horizon you'll ever unlock is the one inside you. Most of us live with a false picture in our heads, that the dreams we want, the person we hope to become, the life we imagine, are somewhere far away, out of reach until the perfect time arrives. But here's the truth nobody tells you. The perfect time doesn't exist. The horizon you're waiting for isn't a point in the distance. It's a decision. And that decision can happen today. Think of your life as a map. You're standing in one place right now. Out there are roads, rivers, mountains, challenges, opportunities, unknowns. Most people never move because they've convinced themselves the journey is too long, too hard. But in reality, the first step is always closer than it seems. Let me tell you about Alex. Alex worked a 9-to-5 job for 10 years. Every day was the same. Same coffee, same desk, same ride home. He told himself, "One day I'll start my own business. One day I'll travel." But here's the thing. One day never comes on its own. Then one evening, Alex read a single sentence in a book. Your horizon expands in proportion to your courage. That night he made a decision, not to quit his job instantly, but to start a small side project. Just 1 hour a day, no excuses. A year later, Alex's side project had grown enough for him to leave his job. 2 years later, he was traveling while running his own business. His horizon didn't move toward him. He moved toward it. Here is what I want you to understand. Every transformation begins with a single step that feels small, but changes everything. The first step is not about achieving the goal. It's about proving to yourself that you can move forward, no matter how small the movement. Do you want to learn a language? Start by learning one new word today. Want to run a marathon? Start with a walk around the block. Want to be more confident? Start by speaking up once in your next meeting. Small steps create momentum, and momentum changes lives. Before you can step toward a new horizon, you must break the invisible chains that have kept you in the same place for years. These chains are not made of steel, they're made of thoughts. Thoughts like, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, it's too late for me. Here's the truth. Those thoughts are not facts. They are stories, stories your mind repeats until you start believing them. But every story can be rewritten. And the moment you rewrite it, your horizon shifts. Sarah was a 42-year-old mother of 3. For years, she dreamed of starting a small bakery. But every time the idea came, so did the voice. You're too old. It's too risky. One day, she decided to challenge the voice. Instead of saying, I can't, she asked, what's the smallest step I can take today? That step was baking bread for her neighbors. The next month, she started selling at the weekend market. A year later, she opened her own bakery. Her horizon didn't just expand, it exploded. If you want to unlock new horizons, stop thinking in terms of years and start thinking in terms of hours. The 24-hour horizon rule is simple. Ask yourself, what is one thing I can do in the next 24 hours that moves me closer to my goal? Then, do it before the clock runs out. You might not be able to change your life in a day, but you can always change your direction. And direction is what creates horizons. Most people think fear means stop, but fear is actually a signal. It points to the place where growth is hiding. The horizon you need most is usually the one fear is guarding. Next time you feel fear, don't run from it. Ask yourself, what's on the other side of this? Because more often than not, the answer is the life you've been waiting for. One of the fastest ways to unlock a new horizon is to stack micro wins. These are tiny victories that build confidence and momentum. Why? Because success is addictive. The more you experience it, even in small doses, the more your brain craves the next step. Here's how to do it. Pick a goal. Break it down into the smallest possible action. So small it almost feels too easy. Do it today, then do another tomorrow. Before you know it, you're no longer dreaming about the horizon. You're already walking toward it. If your goal is to run 5 miles, start with walking for 5 minutes. If your goal is to write a book, start with writing a single sentence. It's not about the size of the step, it's about the direction. Here's a truth you can't ignore. Your environment shapes your horizon. If you surround yourself with people who believe in limits, you will live within those limits. But when you spend time with those who think bigger, dream bolder, and act sooner, their horizons become yours. Find your horizon network. These are the people who see your potential even when you don't. They will challenge you, support you, and remind you that your horizon is always further than you think. You don't need to feel motivated every day to unlock new horizons. What you need is momentum. Motivation is a spark. Momentum is the engine. Start small, start slow, but start now. Once you're in motion, it's easier to keep going than to stop and start again. The horizon rewards the ones who keep moving. Now you know how to take your first steps toward a new horizon. But what if I told you there are hidden horizons you've never even seen? Horizons that, once revealed, can completely rewrite your life's path. In the next chapter, we'll uncover them. Most people think they've seen all their options in life. They believe the map is complete, every road known, every opportunity visible. But the truth, the most life-changing horizons, are the ones you can't see yet. These hidden horizons are everywhere, in your relationships, your career, your skills, your passions. They exist in plain sight, but remain invisible until you learn how to look. Why don't we see these horizons? Because our minds are trained to focus on what's familiar. We filter out the unknown in favor of what feels safe. We miss the conversation that could change our career. We ignore the class that could ignite a passion. We avoid the challenge that could build our confidence. It is not that these opportunities don't exist. It is that we've built blinders without even knowing it. Let me tell you about Michael. He was an engineer, working the same job for 12 years. One day he overheard a colleague talking about a volunteer project building water systems in rural areas. Normally he would have ignored it. But that day he asked one question. Can I help? That question led to a trip overseas, where he discovered a passion for sustainable engineering. 3 years later, he was leading his own nonprofit. The horizon was there all along. He just had to look up and open the window. You can train yourself to see horizons you've been blind to. Here's how. 1. Follow your curiosity. When something sparks interest, don't ignore it. Explore it. 2. Ask more questions. Every person you meet knows something you don't. 3. Step outside your routine. Go to places you've never been. Try activities you've never done. 4. Say yes before you're ready. Growth often hides behind discomfort. Here's a simple test. Once a week, ask yourself, what am I not seeing right now? Write down 3 possibilities, no matter how unrealistic they seem. The act of asking trains your brain to scan for hidden horizons. Hidden horizons are everywhere, waiting for you to notice them. But seeing them is only the first step. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to cross the distance between where you are and where those horizons lead. Spotting a new horizon is only half the battle. The real challenge? Crossing the distance between where you are and where you want to be. This is where most dreams die, in the space between vision and action. But it's also where lives are transformed if you know how to move. We stay stuck for three main reasons. 1. Fear of failure. We imagine the worst-case scenario before we even start. 2. Overwhelm. The goal feels too big, so we never take the first step. 3. Perfectionism. We wait for the perfect moment, which never arrives. Think of your dream as a shore across the water. You can't jump the whole distance. You have to build a bridge, one plank at a time. Define the destination. Be crystal clear about what your horizon looks like. Break it down. Turn it into small, measurable milestones. Schedule the steps. Put them on your calendar, not just in your head. Track progress. Celebrate each plank you lay down. Adjust as needed. Bridges aren't built perfectly on the first try. Anna dreamed of climbing a mountain, but she had never even hiked before. Her bridge started with daily walks, then weekend hikes, then training with a backpack. 2 years later, she stood at the summit, looking at the horizon she had once only seen in photos. The distance was the same for everyone. She just chose to cross it. Once you see your horizon, take your first real step within 48 hours. Why? Because the longer you wait, the more your brain talks you out of it. Action kills doubt faster than any pep talk ever could. Now you know how to cross the distance. But what happens when the path isn't clear? When the road to your horizon twists, disappears, or leads somewhere unexpected? In the next chapter, we'll explore how to navigate the unknown and still keep moving forward. There will be times when the path to your dream disappears. No map, no signposts, just you and uncertainty. Most people turn back when they can't see the way forward. But the truth is, the unknown is where the greatest horizons are born. We fear the unknown because we can't predict it. And when we can't predict, we feel out of control. But here's the secret. Control is an illusion. Even the safe path has risks. We just don't notice them because they are familiar. When you step into the unknown, you trade comfort for possibility. And that's a trade worth making. Explorers throughout history didn't wait for guarantees. They moved forward with three things. 1. Curiosity, a hunger to discover what lies beyond. 2. Adaptability, the ability to change plans without losing direction. 3. Resilience, the strength to keep going, even when every step feels uncertain. James had one goal, to cross a section of the Sahara Desert on foot. Halfway through, a sandstorm erased his tracks, his GPS failed, and the sun vanished behind clouds of dust. He had two choices, stop and wait, or keep moving using only the stars and the wind. He chose to move. 2 days later, he found his team again, dehydrated, exhausted, but alive. His lesson? In the unknown, progress matters more than perfection. Here's how to navigate the unknown in your own life. Set a clear intention. You may not know the path, but you must know the destination. Collect small data. Every step gives you new information. Use it. Make short-term adjustments. Change course without losing sight of the goal. Trust your core skills. Even in new territory, your past experiences are tools. The unknown will test you, but it will also transform you. And when you finally see your horizon again, you'll be stronger than the day you began. In the next chapter, we'll talk about doors that only appear once, and how missing them can mean missing the life you were meant to live. In your life, there will be doors that appear only once. No second chance, no repeat invitation. Miss them, and they're gone forever. The question is, will you recognize the door when it appears? These doors come in many forms. A conversation with someone who could change your career. A sudden opening for a dream job. An unexpected chance to start something new. They don't announce themselves, they don't wait for you to be ready. And most people miss them, not because they don't care, but because they're too busy looking at the wrong things. Rachel almost skipped her flight that day. She was tired, stressed, and wanted to reschedule, but something told her to go. On the plane, she sat next to an entrepreneur who was looking for a marketing partner. That conversation turned into a business, which later turned into a 7-figure company. The door appeared for a few hours. She walked through it. Her life changed. Here's how to spot doors that only appear once. 1. Pay attention to unusual invitations. If it's out of the ordinary, it might be important. 2. Notice your emotional pull. If something excites you and scares you at the same time, that's a sign. 3. Ask, what if I say yes? Imagine the possibilities before you dismiss them. 4. Act faster than your doubt. The longer you wait, the smaller the door becomes. Some doors only stay open for seconds. If you wait until you feel perfectly prepared, you'll never walk through. The most successful people often say yes first, then figure out the details later. That's not recklessness, it's courage. Walking through the door is just the beginning. On the other side, the path might twist in ways you never expected. In the next chapter, we'll explore the power of reverse journeys and why sometimes the fastest way forward is actually backward. We've been told our whole lives to keep moving forward. But what if the fastest way to reach your horizon is to take a step back? In a world obsessed with progress, we forget that growth isn't always a straight line. Sometimes we chase the wrong goal. Sometimes we push so hard we burn out. And sometimes the horizon we're chasing isn't even ours. Reverse journeys are not failures. They're strategic retreats, moments when you step back, reevaluate, and realign. Mark spent 15 years climbing the corporate ladder, only to realize he hated the view from the top. He left his high-paying job and went back to school for environmental science, a passion he had at 20 but abandoned. Friends called it a step backward. But within 5 years, he was leading global sustainability projects and living a life he actually loved. Stepping back had moved him further than relentless forward motion ever could. Ask yourself, 1. Am I climbing a ladder that's leaning against the wrong wall? 2. Is my current path draining me more than it's growing me? 3. If I stopped now and started fresh, could I get to where I want to be faster? If you answer yes to any of these, it might be time to reverse, not out of fear, but out of clarity. Here's how to make a reverse journey powerful, not painful. 1. Keep your vision in sight. You're stepping back to reposition, not to quit. 2. Learn from the path you're leaving. Every step gave you tools. 3. Set a clear re-entry point. Know when and how you'll move forward again. 4. Ignore outside judgment. Most people can't see the strategy behind your step back. Sometimes you have to go back, to go beyond. And when you do, you'll discover something incredible. People who've already seen the future and can help you get there. In the next chapter, we'll meet them and learn their secrets. Some people don't just live in the present, they see tomorrow before the rest of us arrive. The question is, how? History is full of people who seem to know what was coming. Inventors who created technology decades ahead of their time, entrepreneurs who spotted trends before they exploded, and leaders who made choices that saved lives. To most, it looked like magic, but it wasn't. It was a skill, and you can develop it. In the late 90s, a school teacher named Lisa began teaching her students how to code. Back then, computers were rare in her town, and most parents thought it was a waste of time. 10 years later, her students were building apps, leading tech startups, and changing industries. Lisa didn't predict the future. She prepared for it. People who see tomorrow share certain habits. 1. They observe patterns. The present is full of clues about the future. 2. They think in decades, not days. They ask, what will still matter 10 years from now? 3. They invest in skills before they're popular. They plant seeds where others don't see soil. 4. They embrace change early. They don't wait for permission to adapt. Here's how you can start seeing tomorrow today. 1. Stay curious. Read beyond your field. The next big idea often comes from outside your expertise. 2. Ask, what's next? Every day. Make it a habit to think ahead. 3. Spend time with forward thinkers. The future is contagious when you're around people building it. 4. Act on early signals. When you spot an opportunity, move before it becomes obvious. Seeing tomorrow is powerful, but vision without action is just a dream. In the next chapter, we'll build your bridge to that future, step by step, so you can walk into it with purpose. Between where you are now and where you want to be, there's a gap. Dreams can see across it, but only action can build the bridge. Many people start building their bridge, but they never complete it. They get discouraged when progress is slow. They abandon it when challenges appear. And sometimes they never start at all because the gap feels too wide. If you want to reach your horizon, you need a plan you can actually follow. I call it the blueprint method. 1. Name your destination. Be specific. Success is vague. Launching my online store by December 1st is clear. 2. Break down the structure. Divide the journey into milestones. 3. List the materials. Identify the skills, tools, and resources you need. 4. Lay the first plank. Take the smallest possible action today. 5. Check the alignment. Regularly review to make sure you're still heading toward the right horizon. Jordan wanted to start a podcast but felt overwhelmed by equipment, editing, and finding guests. His bridge started with writing down 10 potential episode topics. Then he recorded one episode on his phone. Then he invited one guest. 6 months later, he had over 20 episodes and thousands of listeners. The bridge wasn't built in a day, but it was built. Expect problems. Bad weather, missing resources, unexpected detours. They're all part of building. The key is to keep working on the bridge, even when the progress is messy, because a rough bridge you can walk on is better than a perfect bridge that only exists in your mind. When your bridge is built, you'll stand on the other side and realize you've changed. But there's one final challenge waiting: the edge of fear. In the next chapter, we'll discover how to make fear your compass instead of your cage. Fear has stopped more dreams than failure ever will. But what if I told you fear isn't a wall to avoid? It is a signpost pointing you toward your next horizon. We're taught to run from fear, to see it as danger. But most fears in life aren't life-threatening. They're growth-threatening. Fear shows up when we're about to do something that matters. It's the body's way of saying, pay attention. This could change you. David had avoided public speaking his entire life. The thought of standing in front of an audience made his hands shake and his voice crack. One day, he was asked to share his story at a local event. His first instinct? Say no. But something told him that his fear was a sign. He said yes. That speech led to new friends, business opportunities, and a confidence he never imagined. On the other side of fear, David found a bigger version of himself. Here's how to turn fear into your compass. 1. Name the fear. Say it out loud or write it down. 2. Ask why. Dig into the real reason it scares you. 3. Take one small action toward it. Reduce its power by facing it in tiny doses. 4. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Courage grows in steps, not leaps. The next time you feel fear about a choice, ask yourself, is this fear protecting me or is it keeping me small? If the answer is keeping me small, then that fear is your green light. Move toward it. Fear will always be there, but when you make it your compass, it leads you to places you never dreamed possible. And when you arrive, you'll discover the final piece of your journey, the key that unlocks every horizon. In the next chapter, we'll find that key together. Every horizon you've chased, every step you've taken, has been leading you here. And now, there's only one thing left to find: the final key. The final key isn't something you hold in your hand. It's something you carry in your mind and your heart. It asks the decision to never stop unlocking new horizons, no matter how many you've already reached. Most people think the journey ends when they achieve a goal, but that's just another starting line. The final key is understanding that growth is endless. Elena reached her dream of opening an art gallery at 35. She thought she made it. But within a year, she felt restless again. That's when she realized the horizon she had reached was just the first of many. She used her success to mentor young artists, to travel, to learn new techniques. Every time she unlocked one door, another appeared, and she never stopped turning the key. Here's how you keep unlocking new horizons for the rest of your life. 1. Stay curious. Curiosity keeps the next horizon in sight. 2. Keep moving. Even small steps keep the doors appearing. 3. Share your journey. Helping others unlock their horizons makes yours even bigger. 4. Embrace change. Every shift in life is just another keyhole waiting for you. You've built bridges, faced fears, seized one-time doors, and navigated the unknown. Now you know, the key was never about reaching one place. It was about becoming the kind of person who can open any door, anywhere. Your horizons are waiting, and if this journey has given you even one spark of courage or clarity, help me keep that spark alive. Give this video a like, share it with someone who's chasing their own horizon, and subscribe, because together, we're going to keep unlocking the impossible, one step at a time. This isn't the end. It's just the beginning.